Now, if I didn't know any better, I'd say that you're looking at running for president.
Do it. Do it. Look at me. Do it. I will personally write you a campaign check now on behalf of this country, which does not want you to be president, but which badly wants you to run.
I am officially running for President of the United States, and we are going to make our country great again.
There's not going to be a President Donald Trump.
I think that man will be President of the United States right about the time that spaceships come down filled with dinosaurs and red cake.
Donald Trump has been saying that he will run for president as a Republican, which is surprising since I just assumed he was running as a joke.
Donald Trump will not become president.
I continue to believe Mr. Trump will not be president.
Donald Trump will never, ever be president.
Moderator, but apparently believes that Donald Trump is a clown.
President Obama will go down as perhaps the worst president in the history of the United States! Exclamation point at real Donald Trump. Well, at real Donald Trump, at least I will go down as a president.
You're never going to be president of the United States by insulting your way to.
Let's see, I'm at 42 and you're at 3.
We have a key race alert right now. Donald Trump now has reached the number of delegates needed to clinch the Republican presidential nomination.
So right now, Mr. Trump, to answer your call for political honesty, I just want to say you're not going to be president, all right? It's been fun. It's been great. I love you. But come on, buddy.
Donald Trump, while we project, will win in Kentucky with its 8th electoral vote, in Indiana with its 11th electoral vote, West Virginia, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Mississippi, South Carolina, Alabama, Kansas with its 6 electoral votes, Nebraska with its 5 electoral votes, and Wyoming with its 3 electoral votes, North Dakota with its 3 electoral votes, and South Dakota, Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, the state of Montana, Missouri, Ohio, Idaho, North Carolina.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
Together, we will make America great again.
Let's go. What's up, everybody? Welcome to CobraCast 199. I am your host, D-Day Cobra, Jeremy, and I'm happy to see all of you here tonight. Let's get this party started. We got gifties rolling in. Brock dropping 20 already. Green in the chat. Jesse dropping 5. You got Lord Botha trying to tell people to spam dollars at me. Like I'm some piece of meat for all of you to just throw money at and have me read. Come on, I have a little more respect for myself than that, okay? I'm not here just to get super chats and memberships, okay? This is a very serious, respectable show, and I can't even say it with a straight face. So anyway, Alan Tanasi for 10 says, once a rattlesnake bit Trump after 5 days of excruciating pain, the snake finally died. He is the most interesting man in the world. Scanned in, hail the snake pit 199. Thank you, Alan Tanasi. And hello to everyone. Thank you for tuning in to CobraCast 199. Yeah, there's a lot going on. And we are on, we're kind of like the calm before the storm because the Democratic National Convention is next week, and I am going to be covering as much of it as humanly possible. We're going to be live a lot next week, so get ready, okay? We're going to be live a lot on this channel, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to it. So I don't know what to expect from the DNC. I really don't. I imagine you're going to see a lot of cringe celebrities. I imagine you're going to see a lot of cringe appearances from politicians. I imagine it's going to be pretty rough, but we're going to cover it. We're going to cover it. I know Benny Johnson is going to be, I think he's going to be at like, he's got a Benny bunker in Chicago. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Benny is putting together. So that's going to be really interesting. But yeah, and they're already dealing with protests and everything with the DNC right now. You get what you deserve. It's going to be a shit show. And I'll be honest, the Kamala honeymoon is kind of over. The cringe has now hit just like another level for the Kamala Harris campaign. So that fake kind of idea of like trying to make people believe that she was actually popular and had any traction, that idea, that myth that they were pushing out there it's dwindling down, and we're getting back to reality now. So that was a big fake movement by the media to try to basically make people think that she actually had some level of popularity and a bump, and it's all going away. It's all going away. Robert Cooper says 100,000 protesters expected in Chicago. Are you kidding me? Well, I've got a video from Fox News talking about that, so we will get into that. I haven't heard 100,000, but that would be crazy if that's the case. Her crowd was very small in North Carolina. Yeah, I mean, you can't, let's see, comics, let's see, where's that? Let's see. This guy wants to marry Trump. Me? Ivanka is already taken, sir. Okay? Ivanka is already taken. But you're the one that dreams of Donald Trump every night. Okay? You're the one that dreams of Donald Trump every night. And unfortunately for you, Donald Trump is the most handsome and desired man in the history of the world. So you're pretty short on that list. And that's probably not the first time you've been told you were short. Okay? I'm sure you got a little kickstand there. At least you think it is. But every time you try to lean over and think it's going to hold you up, you fall face down because you have a very small penis, from what I've heard. Not my problem. And I can't understand why that would be a problem. But you need to work on that, okay? You need to work on that. Okay, so what do we got here? 6'3", 215 pounds. That's right. 6'3", 215. Don't ban him. No, we're not gonna ban this loser. Are you kidding me? Listen, let me show you guys the result of like roasting people in the chat. Okay, this is what happens when you idiots come in our chat and start talking shit. Let me show you guys. I got to pull up real quick. This is what happens when people come in our chat and talk shit. Right here. Okay, so these are the most super chatted channels in the United States of America yesterday. Okay, these are the most super chatted channels in the United States of America. Look who was number 2. Look who's number 2. Okay, and look who's number 8. We got 2 in the top 8, ladies and gentlemen. We got 2 in the top 8. Are you kidding me? So please continue to talk shit. It will backfire. All right. The only thing you can do is ignore me, because if you come in here and talk shit, we're going to make a lot of money and it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm 100% okay with that. But hey, look at that. I got a Croc advertisement. Let's go. Crocs in the house, baby. Come on. Let's go. That's what's up. That's a win across the board. Let's freaking go. Yeah, what are you going to say to me? I'm a man, I'm a grown-ass man that wears Crocs, and I tell the internet about it. Clearly, I have no shame. Clearly, I have no shame, okay? Like, come on, man. Come on. Let's see. Eric for 10 says, hey, Fig, when arguing with leftists about economics, 2 great sources, macro trends and St. Louis Fred charts going back to the early 1900s, including profit margins to argue against her price fixing. Noted, Eric. And listen, I personally do not think it's worth fighting with leftists over anything, because they're demented, they're twisted, and they've made up their own mind. It's just like there's no point in it. I'll argue with people that, you know, have shown the ability to have any type of critical thinking, but leftists that obsess over Donald Trump all day long on social media, I'm out. I don't think you're worthy of a discussion at all. Like, for instance, I don't know how many of you are aware of this is kind of more of a Geeks and Gamers kind of topic, but there's this thing with this company, Second Wind Group. It's like a gaming website and a gaming company. And one of the main guys, his name is Nick Calandra. He is the definitive Melanie Mac word, like no doubt about it. Like Nick Calandra is the biggest Melanie Mac word of all time. The dude is pathetic. He celebrated when Donald Trump was banned from Twitter. He celebrated it. He thought it was a good thing. He thought it was a really good thing that Donald Trump was banned from Twitter. He runs this company. He's running it to the ground. He blocks people. He hates people. He's a horrible, horrible person. And so recently, another guy that worked for the company has basically decided to quit the company and call this Nick Calandra guy out. His name's like Frost or something like that. So I watched the video and he kept talking about, like, he kept mentioning alt-right in the video. Alt-right this, alt-right that, alt-right. And I'm like, what the hell does alt-right have to do with any of this shit? Why are you bringing alt-right into anything? So I went to his Twitter account and I did what I always do. I searched the name Donald Trump and massive TDS. So essentially what you have is two retards fighting, and I don't care what happens to either one of them at that point. Let them destroy each other. When it comes to people with TDS or far left ideology, I don't think that they're worthy of a discussion at all. So that guy that's calling out Nick Calandra, I'm all for Nick Calandra getting exposed for the piece of shit that he is. But the guy doing it is just as much of a piece of shit. So that's just all. I do it every time. If I see some weirdo on social media, I look up their tweets and I see how much they've had to say about Donald Trump. And when I see a severe case of TDS, then it makes me know, it gives me all the information that I need in that particular moment in time. Lord Botho with a 99 cent, Lofty Beardo with a 99 cent, Beardo's Micro Penis with a 99 cent, Amanda Allen becomes a new member. Thank you. Beardo's Banana Eater says it's true. Holy crap, you guys. Andrew Tate's General Award says check your Twitter DMs. This is Lightmaster. All right, noted. Let's see here. Brock says you will take our money and like it. Brock's already dropped 20 gifted memberships, boys. Jake the Movie Geek says, do you think the DNC will help or hurt Trump? That's actually a good question. I think it will help Trump because Kamala Harris has to talk. That's the bottom line. Like, she has to talk. She's going to have to talk and make a speech. And the more she talks, the worse things are. Now, that's the final night of the DNC. You're going to have, is Barack Obama going to show up? Is Bill and Hillary Clinton going to show up? You know what? George W. Bush might as well come on out there and give a speech too, because we know he hates President Trump. So George W. Bush, why don't you go ahead and roll out there and go ahead and give an anti-Trump speech as well? Might as well do it, right? So bring them all. Bring all of these clowns. But ultimately, I think it will hurt. It will help Trump and hurt the Democratic campaign. They're going to try very hard, though. David Phillips. Why would anyone ever super chat Jeremy? Damn. It was the voices in my head again. Look at that. Why would anybody super chat this guy? Thank you, David. I appreciate it. Let's see. UPD. That's what I'm gonna start saying. That UPD. I will be skipping the DNC broadcast. Where Christa? Well, she'll probably be here for the DNC broadcast. Mine anyway. Byron Douglas says I update you on my main progress. Closing in on 550 or 5,500 subs. First, I told you at 2K, never stop fighting. By the way, Jay was right. I should be VP. Look at that. That's what's up. Thank you so much. Well, 5,500 subscribers is not anything to dismiss. That's a lot of subscribers. I remember, what's up, X-Wing? I remember when I hit 1,000 subscribers for the first time. And it was such an amazing accomplishment. I couldn't believe it. And I've talked about this many times as a YouTuber now that has a ton of channels. But before I was a YouTuber and I was just a viewer, I'll never forget there was this tech YouTuber that I followed, and he hit 20,000 subscribers, and he was just low key. He wasn't like just a normal guy. you could tell it was a part-time thing for him. He had a family, he had a job, but he had 20,000 subscribers. And I remember going like, how do you hit 20,000 subscribers? Like, how do you, he must have like fans everywhere with 20,000 subscribers. He must be like Tom Cruise walking around with 20,000 subscribers. How do you get 20,000 subscribers? And it was just fascinating to me. And I was like, man, if I ever got 20,000 subscribers, I would never want for anything. It's not really how life goes, but it's very possible if it's something you want to do. It's very, very possible for sure. Nandy says, dropping this because I can't afford a proper 199. Brother, you are appreciated. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate it. X-Wing says, damn, how many channels you got? A lot. More than I need. That's for sure. More than I need. What's up, X-Wing? Hayden Wayne 450. Whispers are Judge Death. Listen, Whispers are Judge Death in New York is going to lock Trump in September 18th. Yes, I've heard the rumors that they're going to lock Trump up September 18th, the day of his sentencing. They're saying Rikers already has accommodations made ready. If Trump gets locked up, I think Vance takes his place at rallies and they clinch victory. So I have heard those rumors, and that is that's going to backfire. I say go. They need to do it. They need to do it. Go ahead and do it. It's going to backfire. Okay. It's going to backfire if they do it. So people need to prepare. Why is my air conditioner not working properly? Anyway, people need to prepare for this. You need to prepare for the worst case scenario. You got this monkeypox bullshit that they're pushing right now. Everything. You got to understand this. Everything is about Donald Trump. Everything that's going on in this country and in this world is surrounded with Donald Trump. He's that important to these weirdos, man. He just is. And everybody needs to prepare, because I truly will never fully understand why Donald Trump has broken so many people's brains, but he has. And COVID happened because of Trump. COVID happened because of Trump. Joe Biden got ran out of his own presidency because of Donald Trump. And now all of these indictments, raiding Mar-a-Lago, it's all meant to stop Trump, man. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. Somebody in the chat says it's not Trump. What the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean it's not Trump? You think they'd be doing this if Jeb Bush was the president? Really? You think they'd be doing this if what's his name? Kasich? You think if he was president, you think they'd be doing this to him? The fuck out of here. It's 100% Trump. It's 100% Trump. He dominates their existence. Yes, they tried to kill him. They tried to lock him up. Mitt Romney. You think if Mitt Romney was the Republican nominee or the former Republican president, you think they'd be going after Mitt fucking Romney? No, not at all. So it is 100% Donald Trump. He dominates everything. And he always has, to be fair. Let's see. River Miles says D-Day Cobra number 1. Let's see. What's a Twana number 2? What's up, River Miles? Well, it's number 2. It was number 2 yesterday. It was number 2. Beardo's Banana Eater says Crocs mean you're gay. Don't disrespect the Crocs. Don't do it. CG87343 says the Harris campaign is all about the joy. Remember strength through joy. Authoritarians never come with a scowl, but with a smile and a mask. 100%. 100%. Force Geek says, what type of ad blocker do you have and how much does it cost? Is it a one-time payment or monthly? I now believe they're trying to force a civil war just for the sake of destroying the country. I personally don't run ad blocker. So I can't speak to that. I do not. I don't run ad blocker. So maybe I'm sure a ton of people in the chat do, but I've never ran ad blocker myself. So I cannot give you that information. Brodemus Prime says, Bro99. What's up, Brodemus Prime? Crazy Clown Town says, I just popped a bag of popcorn. Let's go. Maldi says, hey, Jer Bear, you know you don't have to act manly. You're my favorite power bottom, and nobody can take that away from you. Thank you. Let's see. Stopping Motion says, F whoever's talking shit. D-Day Cobra is a beast. I like when people are talking shit. Like, I like it because I will grift off of it unapologetically. He's a grifter. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. He's toxic. Yes, I am. He's a Trump supporter. Yes, I am. Bring it on. Jimmy Ray says, as a member of the LGBT community, how concerned are you about monkeypox? As long as Dan Vask stays away from me, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. All right. Eric Guidewall with 5. Get the memberships. Thank you, Eric. Let's see. Is it Kira? Kira for 20 says, if the assassination attempt didn't happen, I'd be less worried. But if he goes to jail, I'm concerned he will disappear. Yeah, look, that is a valid concern. You're right about that. Man, if they do lock Trump up, everybody just needs to get ready, man. It's hard to process just how chaotic things are going to be if they lock President Trump up, but I think they're going to do it. Like, my mind, like if I feel that there's the way my mind works is I always try to prepare for the worst because you're never really caught off guard or disappointed. Sometimes I'm not good at that, but I try to for the most part. It's like I said, every time I go to the doctor, I immediately, after like the doctor checks me up, I go, before you tell me anything, am I going to die? He's like, no. I'm like, okay, good. So whatever you tell me, we're working up from there. So as long as I'm not going to die, any piece of good news is good news at this point. I'm not going to die. I do that every time I go to the doctor. Am I going to die? No. I'm like, okay. Then whatever you tell me is not bad. So, Magnum Norris says, am I banned from pooping on Gary? If so, I'm only going to poop harder and faster. What? What do you mean? I would, from pooping on Gary? No. I encourage pooping on Gary all the time. All the time. That is 100% what you should all be doing. Let's talk about this DNC story really quick because the DNC is next week, and I'm telling you, man, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad, and everybody just needs to get ready. Here we go, right here. Let me share this tab. Here we go. So the DNC is next week. And we're looking at an insane amount of protesting right now that's going on within the outside of the DNC in Chicago.
How many kids have you killed today? How many kids have you killed today?
Anti-Israel agitators giving us a sneak peek of the chaos coming to the DNC. The Hamas-loving freaks crashing a New York Democrat rally for VP Harris, brawling with cops, lighting smoke bombs while storming an after-party in Harlem. They also infiltrated a Biden-Harris event yesterday and heckled Joe Biden when he was speaking. Watch this.
Our democracy is really hungry. The idea was that we hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women are created equal without and so on. It's going
Martha, this is like that itch that you just can't scratch. They can't get rid of it. You're going to be at the DNC. How do you think this will impact their convention?
You know, unless they can get inside and have credentials, you know, it's very tough to get in these. And at the Republican convention, they did the same thing in Milwaukee. They figured out a way to keep them at a huge distance, essentially, saying that it was going to create a safety hazard in the city, and they managed to keep them really far away. And I mean, that's the battle that's going on right now, because these protest groups are going before the city and saying that they are stepping on their First Amendment, that they have a right to be heard by the people coming and going from from the convention. So that's a battle that the city has to sort of wage. Obviously, the people of Chicago have had successful conventions. They also have the memory of 1968 in their deep memory well as well. And my guess is that
well, just don't forget too, because I mean, this is going to be in Chicago, which, as most of you probably know, Chicago, according to Jesse Smollett, is MAGA country. So I mean, it's MAGA country there in Chicago too. So it's really interesting that the DNC taking place in Chicago, all white for the most part, MAGA country, according to Jesse Smollett.
That they're going to keep them at a distance. But what's going to be really interesting is if somebody gets inside. If they get inside the building and they start to cause havoc there, it could be an issue. But I think it's at the voting booth that it's really going to be something that they're going to have to contend with in a more meaningful way. Obviously, Kamala Harris has tried to walk this fence very carefully, and I don't know how successfully at this point.
Jessica, that's really the question. She talked about how they also showed up for Republicans. They are rebuking Biden-Harris, but are Biden and Harris rebuking them enough? Is there a place for these people?
Hayden Wayne, very interesting super chat right here for 50, says, a thought. If Trump gets elected while at Rikers, he cannot pardon himself. He would be held on state crimes, not federal. That would be a president held in prison. He could presumably declare New York in a state of revolt and send in the military. Who knows? Is that true? So I understand this. That's true, because when they were talking about this, I think someone on I heard someone on a news channel say that like Biden couldn't pardon Trump. He would have to leverage the governor to pardon Trump. He would have to get the governor to do it. So so that's crazy, man. And just think about this. Because every time we talk about these crazy scenarios, we just go like, yeah, but things aren't going to get that crazy. Have you not been paying attention? Within 10 days, Donald Trump was shot and Biden ran out of office. That happened within 10 days. 10 days. That's how crazy things can go. And I saw someone say that they'll just drop the charges. I don't know if that's the case, because we have to understand that Donald Trump winning, it's not like when Donald Trump wins, it's not like the left just stops. It's not like the left is just going to stop. When he wins, that means they're going to make it even crazier for him. They're going to make things difficult, because ultimately they can't have Trump coming in and having a successful 4 years. So when he wins, it means it's going to get even crazier, and they're going to get even more desperate to destroy this man's presidency and destroy this country, because leftists would rather burn the entire country to the ground instead of just having a successful Donald Trump term. That's the truth. If you gave a leftist an opportunity, you say, hey, look, here's the next 4 years right here. If God himself comes down and says, hey, leftists, here's your options. If you continue on the path you're on, the entire country will literally burn to the ground. Or after 4 years, Donald Trump is going to have a booming economy. He's going to end all overseas conflicts. He's going to restore relationships around the world. And the economy is going to be booming. We're going to shore up immigration, everything. They would literally pick to burn the country down. If God himself came down and told them Donald Trump is going to have a wonderful 4 years, you just need to back off and leave him alone. These are your two options. They would burn the entire country to the ground. That's what we're dealing with. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Thank you, Hayden. It's a hell of a perspective. That's for sure. Crazy times, man. Crazy times indeed.
At the DNC.
Yeah, half a mile away. That's where they've been relegated to. They've shown themselves to be unsafe. This doesn't qualify as peaceful protests, or at least what we've seen in the past. Some of the campus protests that they said were so peaceful, kids were beaten up. Jewish kids were prohibited from going into libraries, going into cafeterias, going to their dorm rooms.
Lawsuits now.
Yeah. These people, they say, we want to be heard. We've heard you. And the administration, with the rest of the free world, is working as hard as they can towards a ceasefire that also returns the hostages.
No, they're not.
None of this would have happened if they hadn't shown up and killed over 1,000 people and taken hundreds of people.
None of this would have happened if Trump was president.
Starting fights online with Black and Latino voters, demeaning what issues are the most important to them, saying to young Black women, oh, well, this is more important than anyone's right to have reproductive health care. This is more important than climate change. This is more important than gun reform, just denigrating people. And people are on their last nerve. I was on the Jewish Women for Kamala call last night, and this was a major theme of it, that they feel as though the Democratic Party and the perception of it has been co-opted from such a small
I can't stand her, but we're just letting her talk.
To do with how our leadership feels, how Jewish liberals feel about our country, and how they feel about Israel and Netanyahu.
But she doesn't shut them down.
She did. Remember they showed up when she was speaking?
She said, let me speak. I'm speaking.
She dignified them. She
didn't say, we support Israel in this country. And October 7th is,
Judge,
I'm just
so 2 squad members have already been defeated. I don't know any others will, but is this a moment where Republicans take a step back and kind of let the left eat itself?
Yeah, let them go at it. But here's the problem. First of all, as it relates to Chicago has the largest Palestinian population in the country. Most of us think it's in Michigan or Minnesota. No, it's in Cook County. So right there, you've got 100,000 planned to come from 150 different organizations. My understanding is that permits have been granted, but that there are restrictions on the permits. And I think, that's where the problem is going to come. Hopefully they are, as Jessica says, a half a mile away. But at the same time, they have First Amendment right, but it's got to be balanced against safety and security for everybody else. But to me, the most curious part of this issue is, how they see Kamala and Biden. On the one hand, they know that Joe Biden is the guy who, freed up or opened up $80 million in oil sales so Iran can then fund Hamas and all these other organizations, and that Iran was broke under Trump. So on the one hand, I mean, if they've got any smarts, they know that they're on their side. But on the other hand, they've got this other issue as to, Joe Biden and Kamala. And this is where she's got to do that dance, separating herself from Biden, which I don't know how she's going to do. Joe Biden is sending armaments to Israel.
But this is a shit show. And the DNC is going to be a shit show, too, because that's the whole thing. It's like Kamala has to, they're going to try to distance Kamala from Joe Biden, but that's virtually impossible. But that's what they need to do. It's going to be so funny because is Joe Biden going to speak at the DNC? Have we had that confirmed? I imagine he's going to speak at the DNC. And it's going to be a very cringy speech if he does. And I can't imagine that it's going to go over very well if he does. Monday, Gerald Armstrong. Is he supposed to speak on Monday? Really? That's wild if that's the case. Joe speaks Monday? Wow. Okay, there you go then. That's going to be a wild one. Yeah. Okay, well, there you go. So he's speaking Monday. Do we have I guess I'd have to look it up and see if we got a list of speakers yet. So going to be wild.
But she said, if you want Donald Trump to win, then keep talking. And she shut them up. So I'm not quite sure how they see her. And that's what's going to come out at this convention.
Greg, the squad only existed. We know what the squad is because they became powerful enough, 5 or 6 members of Congress. And this is a group that they pandered to. So the idea that Democrats can just wash their hands of these people doesn't really carry water with me.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's that much daylight between these protesters and some of the people in the room. I mean, just ask Josh Shapiro.
Yeah.
He's not in the room because of the squad. And the protesters were probably really happy that they ditched him because he was a Jew or is a Jew. When you split people into groups, you end up ultimately pitting them against each other because you sacrifice the uniqueness of an individual. Here's a person named Steve. But then you turn him into Steve, a member of LGBTQ, and all of a sudden you have the demands of a group and a group that tells people that they are special as opposed to unique. So that's when you were talking about what's happening on these, the these groups are turning on each other because that's the natural evolution of these things. If you tell a group that they're special, then they're going to be more special than the other group. Patriotism and religion, they said you were unique. They didn't say you were special, right? And that's what you're seeing right now. And
JM, the elite fan on Rumble for 25 says, I predict that the DNC Bernie will come out of the crowd with a steel chair, lay it square into Kamala's back, and cover her for the 1, 2, 3 to become the Democratic presidential nominee. Listen, I there's obviously a joke, but it's obviously a joke. But if Donald Trump, I mean, if Joe Biden shows up to the DNC and cashes in money in the bank, I'm going to have a tough time not voting for Joe Biden, man. If he shows up and cashes in money in the bank and takes the nomination from Kamala, I'm like, all right, I'm on the fence here. I'm on the fence.
And I think, it might be ugly there. It might be ugly there. I'm glad I'm not going. One benefit of being a Republican, those aren't your brats. We crack the whips. We know how to be an adult. It's like being at a restaurant and your kids are well behaved and you look over and you see their kids and they're screaming and yelling. You go like, my God, it's not the kids, it's the parents. Democrats got to discover their inner adult. Jessica.
Without those iPads, that's what I do.
Jessica, do you think it matters that her husband is Jewish?
Yeah, I think it does matter a lot. And
all right,
we do have to go.
We'll talk about this in a break.
Yeah, but that's interesting.
The fastest
that's an interesting.
What a disaster for the Democrats. And, no one's crying. No one's feeling bad for them. No one's feeling sorry for them at all. And we're just going to continue to watch this shit show just fall apart right before our very eyes. I do have another video we'll cover here in just a minute. Mount Mutt says, no one can insult Jeremy better than his own subscribers. There are people who have PhDs in insulting Jeremy. Sheesh. That's how you have to roll on the internet, man. So that's how we roll here. We have the best chat in the world, and it ain't even close. Thank you. Jesse MacArthur for $1. Thank you. Alan Thanat says, bro, those hillbilly camo Crocs are fig stuff. Just kidding. I own the same pair as an LA boy. No. Oh, man. Thank you, Alan. Jamie says, hopefully the DNC is a shit show. I think Rumble is becoming woke. They canceled Salty Cracker. What? I mean, they canceled Salty Cracker. What are you talking about? Salty dominates Rumble. The Drunken Sailor says, what's good, brother? Hail the chat, Trump 2024. What's up, man? Good to see you, Drunken Sailor. Hope you're doing well, man. Hope you're doing well. What happened with Salty? Nothing happened with Salty. Let's see here. Carl Stroud says, have some money. Thank you. I appreciate that. He might be right. Yep, they ghosted Salty. What do you mean? Rumble is abandoning Salty for real. His contract is coming up. That is all. Really? So Salty was ranting about Rumble. Really? You know what I found is like, here's what's crazy. Like all these people have, there's a lot of people that have contracts on Rumble, and I'm not hating on that at all. It's just that Geeks and Gamers has to my knowledge, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, especially people on the Rumble chat. If I'm not mistaken, Geeks and Gamers has the biggest sports channel on Rumble right now. Sports Wars. It's bigger than Barstool Sports' main channel. Now Barstool will eventually probably surpass us, but Sports Wars has the biggest. Let's see. The Sports Wars has the biggest sports channel, I think. Obviously, we have Geeks and Gamers, which has 80,000 followers over there. From a pop culture standpoint, we're definitely in the top 5, I would think. But I don't have. They've never offered us anything like that, but they'll offer a lot of people contracts. They've never offered us one, but maybe one day, maybe we'll work something out. I don't know, but I'll look into the Salty thing. Salty crushes it on Rumble. Absolutely crushes it. Let's see. Where we at? Got that. Eric K says Jeremy's mods roast him worse than anyone else. He can handle anything. That is true. That is true. That is very true. Troy News says, can you react to the mock presidential debate, Donald Trump versus Kamala by Alec Lace? It's absolutely hilarious. Best Trump impression I've ever seen. I'll have to look and see if I can find that one. That sounds pretty funny to check out, though. Hail the Lore says, hail Jeremy, the homosexual. If it's not to help Trump, I don't listen to political talking heads because 95% of it is BS. Trump 2024. Hail the 199. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Hail the Lore. Force Geek says, by locking up Trump, they're setting the precedent for their own destruction. Trump mentioned that in his latest speech. When he's in power, he has every right to lock all those government criminals up. 100%. Magnum Norris for 10 says, is it Makala? Is that what you said? Was funding bail for psychopaths in my hometown, MPLS, during George Floyd riots. I'm not surprised by that at all. She's a terrible person. Like she is really a terrible person. Sally Ito with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, Sally Ito. 5 gifted memberships. Okay, let me so this one right here, Judge Janine, Kamala's team clearly believes there is a risk to sending her out. This is the biggest problem that they have right now. The more she talks, the worse it is for them. She is awful when she talks. She is terrible, and it will turn people off every time she speaks.
Dodging the media, the vice president has not given a single interview, like a real sit down back and forth, or an open press conference where she takes, 15 or 20 questions, one after the other. She's done a couple of things on the tarmac, but it's a new day and she's at the top of the ticket. She did, however, do a sit down chat with her running mate where they grilled each other on some really tough questions. Watch this.
Like I have white guy tacos and
What is
like
that?
black,
Like mayonnaise and tuna? What are you doing?
pretty much ground beef and cheese.
That's
and,
okay. Do you put any flavor in it?
No.
Oh.
Here's the deal. No, they said to be careful and let her know this, that black pepper is the top of the spice level in Minnesota,
So, Tim, what's your relationship to music?
Yeah.
I haven't seen this. I've seen this being shared around on Twitter. I have not seen this.
For me, the transformational piece of music was Bruce Springsteen's The River,
Okay.
which is a journey.
I'm more of a hip hop girl. I called you, Tim.
Yes.
You didn't answer, Tim.
It popped up and we didn't recognize the caller ID, and it went to voicemail.
Yeah, never answer the phone if you don't know who's on it. I don't. Governor Walz's White Guy Tacos line is cooking up some online drama because.
Okay. We have an awesome chat here. Okay, we have an awesome chat. I'm not even going to grift off of what I'm just going to show you, okay? I'm going to show you. And you may want to reward me after the fact. You don't have to, but we're going to show you something wonderful, because there's a lot of negativity on social media. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of infighting going on. There's a lot of horrible things being shown. You got these LGBTQ plus IAC3PO and a bag of cookies parades. Okay, you got all of that. But sometimes something wonderful happens on social media. Something wonderful shows up on social media. And I'm going to show all of you that before we finish this video. I'm not even going to grift it. I'm just going to show you. Ladies and gentlemen, let me present to you the one and only Sydney Sweeney. That's right. Sydney Sweeney decided to upload this to Instagram today. And the internet went crazy. The internet went crazy. Holy crap. All right, I'm there we go. I can make it better. There we go. All right. There we go. So Sydney Sweeney decided to break the internet today. And my goodness. So there you go. I didn't even grift it. Okay. I just was like, the chat has been through enough with the Kamala cringe. Let's show Sydney Sweeney. So there you go, right there. Zoom and enhance. All right. So with that said, we do have to go back to the video. So I apologize, but we now have to go back to the video. But later on, we've got some more Sydney pictures we could probably show. Okay. So here we go. All right. Back to the video.
His folks discovered an old tweet of his that showed that he won an award over his turkey taco hot dish, which contains green chilies, taco sauce, chili powder, all hotter than the black pepper that he says he can't handle the spice level of. And get this, Tim Walz's dog has now granted more interviews than Kamala Harris. Vogue magazine putting a spotlight on Walz's rescue dog, Scout, which happens to be the same name of my dog. And he did an interview where they asked the pooch, quote, "What is your human's worst habit?" And he said the guy loves Diet Mountain Dew. So, I mean, it kind of, Judge, reminds me of like the what's your favorite ice cream flavor questions for Joe Biden, all of which would feel sort of cute and interesting if we weren't dealing with a lot of serious things that we haven't had any answers to quite yet.
Yeah, well, clearly her team believes that there is a risk to sending her out there and having her answer questions.
Yes. Because there is. Like, it's not a made-up narrative by the Trump campaign or by conservatives. It's not. It's serious. Like, when she talks, it's bad. It's bad for the campaign. It's good for the Trump campaign, but it's bad for her. It's bad for the Democrats. It's bad for anyone involved. She is dumb. Kamala Harris is a very stupid person. I'm not even saying that to be disrespectful. It's just the truth. She is a stupid person. She is a very dumb person. And every time she says anything, it's clear. She has no command of anything. She has no clue what's going on. To be fair, listen, Joe Biden at this point in time is more competent than Kamala Harris is. That's not even a joke. That's the truth.
That the downside is too great. And that's why they think that probably the less you see of Kamala, the more you're going to like her. But in the end, we've only got 81 days left. And next week is all scripted. She may sit down and give an interview after that. And then there's the debate. And my concern is that she's not confident enough, her team is not confident enough to answer any questions. The woman is vice president of the United States of America. What is she afraid of? What is her team afraid of? This is like Joe Biden #2. I mean, not only is she his co-pilot, but they're bubble wrapping her. They may not be keeping her in the basement, but it's the same thing. And they're interviewing each other instead of, talking to the American people about things we're worried about. He's talking about his favorite spices. Americans are trying to afford those spices. The absurdity of it all is so disappointing, but at the same time, it speaks to where we are. I think a lot of young people now are not even concerned with a long form interview. They take their phone and they just scroll and they look for the meme or they look for the whatever it is on Instagram. And that's how they get their news. They're not going to sit down for the long form anyway.
Yeah. And some of her supporters are arguing, Jessica, that, it doesn't really matter. You don't have to talk to anyone. You don't have to answer questions of anyone. What are they? Trump goes out, he talks to CBS, talks to ABC, talks to NBC, goes on all these different things. He doesn't care when people throw questions at him, and he's willing to face them. I don't understand, as the judge says, she's the vice president of the United States. I mean, she's a smart woman. Go answer the questions.
She's not.
What's so hard?
No, she's not.
Well, Trump doesn't actually dialogue with anyone in a way that exposes any details of his plans. He says, I'm going to deport them all. And no one follows up and said, well, how are you actually going to round up those millions of people?
Hey, that's fucking bullshit. He has explained it in detail. You are a liar. Oh, my God, man.
True.
Yes,
he's done CNN. He's done he's done pretty much every outlet. Name an outlet he hasn't gone to and answer questions.
He calls these press conferences and he rants for upwards of an hour.
And then he takes questions.
But he doesn't answer them in any sort.
Well, that's up to the American people to decide.
Exactly.
At
Or
least
the
he takes
press.
the question.
Or the press, but he's doing
the
it.
point about what Kamala is doing is that we have 81 days left. She will absolutely be sitting down, but she doesn't need to do it right now. Her supporters are not upset about it. Even people who are in the middle are not upset about it. She's giving speeches. She's telling people what she stands for. And that video with Governor Walz was charming. They were getting to know it. Well, it might not be to you, but to millions of people it would. Because we wouldn't have this kind of election right now where Kamala Harris is trending this way and Donald Trump is trending this way if what they're doing wasn't working. Wherever you get your polls, 538, real clear.
Just real quick, just as a quick apology to the chat. Here we go. There you go. Sorry, chat. Sorry having to endure this ridiculousness from this clown on Fox News. So I apologize. There you go. Okay, now we're happy again. Now we can continue with the clown show. Here we go.
The Economist, the Cook Political Report, any of it. Kamala Harris is trending in the right direction.
Well, that's
and that's
true.
because of her approach to this. And
So if it's not broke, don't fix it. And
Well,
I get that.
That works.
But Joey, what I'm more worried about really is what the judge said, that people don't really care, that they're happy with, a TikTok meme version of someone, and then they're going to go in and vote for
That's the absolute fear I have every day. I don't know where people are on issues. I can tell you this, Kamala Harris has a run against Donald Trump and Joe Biden. And that's going to be really hard to do. And the more questions she answers, the harder it gets to do that because she has been his vice president. So how do you do that? You do it by embracing Trump's ideas like child tax credit, no taxing tips. You do it by ignoring your own progressive legacy. And you do it by continuing to court the far left progressives with whatever red meat you can put out there. One of those pieces of red meat is someone like Tim Walz, who cloaks himself in this fake Midwestern conservative personality while putting tampons in boys' bathrooms, calling the censor the First Amendment, allowing riots, but jailing business owners a few months later during COVID. I was going to really make fun of him because I think about that movie, The Campaign, where Zach Galifianakis gets turned into the perfect candidate. But as soon as you take a look at him, you see they even take his dogs away and give him better dogs. And I was going to be a very generic scout name, but then you said that was your dog's name, so I couldn't say that. But that's what he is. I mean, they're trying to paint him as this perfect Midwesterner when he's nothing less than a liar. And you know what? I saved my words on him for weeks until I saw a video of him on the House Veterans Affairs Committee, one that I served on with him as a staffer, looking at Gold Star families and saying, when they come back from war like I came back without the mental health assets or resources they need. Bro, you were on a deployment in southern Italy. Put me on that deployment. What are you talking about? What was your mental health needs coming back from southern Italy? I'm not saying there weren't any, but maybe answer some questions on that because you looked at a Gold Star family and tried to put yourself in their sons and daughters' shoes.
Hell yeah.
That's what kind of person you are. That's who she picked to go with her, not because of any ability to make good decisions. Here's the deal. Jessica and I were talking about this in the green room a little bit. President Trump is not going to say things that make you feel good. He's not going to say things that make you feel heard and seen, but he might not send your son to war for no good reason. He might not bankrupt your business for no good reason. He might get the cost of energy down. He might not need to give you a fake $25,000 to go buy a house so that everybody else can outbid you, and now the cost of housing goes up. He might not say the only way to bring down the cost of groceries is to take over the food industry. He might say $2 diesel does a lot to take care of the price of groceries. So I don't care what he says about the Medal of Freedom or the Medal of Honor. I don't care what words are taken out of context or even left in context. He can be a rotten human being for all I care. Do the policies that work that you did the first time around, and you have my vote. I have no idea if the rest of America is on board with that.
That's such a simple way of putting it. Like right there. That's it. And it's as simple as that. Quit looking for Donald Trump to give you the inspiration that I need to be inspired. I need to be told I am worthy. What was that? what was that skit on Saturday Night Live? Stuart Smalley? I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me. That's what people are looking for Trump to kind of give like daily affirmation bullshit. It's just laughable.
But you do know that their plans have been evaluated and Trump's is more inflationary. Moody's did that.
Trump
you
spent,
do know that
Trump
the
spent
GDP
the money
is
after
better
COVID.
under
I've
Biden.
criticized him for that, but there's
that
no
you
way
said, look at the
Kamala
The
Harris.
last Trump plan put $1,500 back in every middle-class family's pocket with the tax cuts. But Greg, we want to make sure we get you in.
Sure. Well, just remember the same people who told America that Joe was sharp as a tack are now telling you that Kamala is sharp as a tack. So remember that. Kamala's approach right now is a calculated retreat because she prefers, and her campaign prefers, that she live in the world of the first impression because it's the basket case theory. The more you know about her, the less you want to know about her. And I'm telling you, watch that again. She is not a confident candidate. It's true. And you're right. Walz is the more you know about him, you realize they did not vet this guy. I mean, his campaign cover-up of his horrible DUI is
Same thing.
If that's not disqualifying, I don't know what is. He actually exploited his military background to cover up his crime. He said it was related to his service and that he actually wasn't drunk. He just misheard the instructions in the drunk test. He blew a super high level. It was like, 0.2, driving 100 miles an hour. And then when he's running for office, he said that he wasn't drunk. I mean, this guy has creep written all over it.
Yes.
He created a snitch line, but lies about his personal infractions. He doesn't even own up to it. This is a guy who pushes a hoax about a sex on a couch. And then the closer you look at him, he's a creepy cuck.
Yes.
That's it.
They didn't know how to respond to Greg saying cuck. Holy shit. I can't believe I just heard a Fox News host calling the vice presidential nominee a cuck. Holy shit. And they had no idea what to think. Hold on.
On a couch. And then the closer you look at him, he's a creepy cuck.
What?
That's it.
I'll tell you in the break.
Was that Judge Anita said, a what? No way. Hang on. Let me turn the captions on here.
Closer you look at him, he's a creepy cuck.
What?
That's it.
I'll tell you in the
Talk
break.
about it in the break. All right, so coming up next, the pro-Hamas agitators seem to be getting...
Yeah, she did. She said, what?
And then the closer you look at him, he's a creepy cuck.
What?
That's it.
I'll tell you in the
Talk
break.
about it in the break. All right, so coming up next, the pro-Hamas agitators seem to be getting a drug.
That's pretty fantastic right there. Okay, that was awesome. I was not expecting that, man. That was fantastic right there. Holy crap. Good stuff indeed. Let me catch up on a few chats, and then we will. I got another thing I want to show you guys that's very funny. David Phillips for 20 says, I'd eat a white boy taco at that Y any day. Damn. David Phillips for 20. Thank you. Christmas loving engineer says, we need the important dialogues Kamala will bring, like Kim Jong-un or Putin's favorite spices. I heard that. Man, hearing Judge Joe Brown talk about that was absolute gold, dude. Absolute gold. Lean back, have a snack, take a nap says, your channel's been doing great, Jeremy, but just imagine the super chats once you get those breast implants you've always wanted. Thank you. Lean back, have a snack, take a nap. Gorgeous Mayhem says, that is Clit Romney to you, sir. Thank you. Baked Ewok says, smash the like and smoke up 199, baby. Eric K says, monkeypox is so bad, Jeremy canceled his next cruise. Lean Back Have a Snack says, I was called a homophobe the other day. I said, shut up, kid. My favorite YouTuber is gay. Sup, Jeremy? X-Wing says, gotta head out. Trump 2024. Hey, why is Jeremy's dog so shady round peanut butter? Hail the 199. Thank you, X-Wing. Crimson Raptor says, what are the chances some of the protesters are paid Democrat shills and dress up like Trump supporters? Very good. Very good. Sad but true. Horny Alf says, Jeremy likes both haters and Crocs because they are both super gay. That's a good one. That's a good one. What up, bigot army in the house? Jocelyn says, Jeremy, when death arrives. Oh shit. Oh no, please, Ryan, when death arrives. About fucking time. Pretty much. That pretty much puts in perspective right there. Nandy says, justice for Juicy. Emo Otaku says, Jeremy, you rock. Kamala sucks. Big ones. May the 199 live forever. Thank you. I appreciate that. Bane Zero says, has Kamala started selling red hats yet since she's been stealing all of Trump's positions? I know, right? Slain Hope says, some MAGA influencers have declared war on fence sitters, aka undecided voters. How can we fortify the vote with Trojan horse in our own town square? Well, listen, I mean, I've been seeing a lot of that go around, and while I don't, and thank you, Stormbringer for the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you. I seen a lot of that going on, and for instance, like Cat Turd, he had a tweet today, basically calling out the fence sitters and all of that. Essentially, he was calling out Tim Pool, is what he was doing. Like that's let me find that tweet. Hang on. I think I liked it. Let me see if I liked that tweet. Did I like it? Damn it, I didn't like it. All right, Cat Turd. Let's see. But Tim Pool actually quote tweeted it. So that's how I saw it. So Tim Pool quote tweeted it because he knew it was about him. And I agree with the tweet, but I'm not really sure what is going to get accomplished by this with the infighting. I don't think the infighting is necessarily beneficial at all. Did he delete the fucking tweet? No, there it is. Okay, here we go. So here's the tweet. Share that. Cat Turd says, ignore the always negative Bernie bro, liberal poll watching podcast bro, who finally said they support Trump now in the last 5 minutes, but only if Trump campaigns exactly like they demand. They are all narcissist snakes who don't give a damn about saving our country. They only care about themselves and their gigantic egos. Trust the people who have been there since the beginning, who have never wavered, never flip-flopped, stood strong during the ups and downs, and are always rock solid in where they stand. We have no more time for fence riders, game players, or third candidate losers. Choose who you follow wisely. I don't disagree. With anything Cat Turd said right there, and it's clear that he's talking about Tim Pool. That's who he's talking about. Tim Pool quote tweeted it. And I agree with everything Cat Turd's saying, but at the same time, what are you accomplishing by bringing that up? I guess that's my question, because ultimately, yes, you're going to have a lot of fake people that are going to jump on the bandwagon. Tim Pool is a classic example of that. Tim Pool has been on the fence on Trump forever. And now that we're in the fourth quarter and we're in the final 5 minutes, suddenly he's all in on Trump. Okay, well, we need him. Let's see. Let me see. Hang on. There's a comment I want to highlight. Jeremy is my guy, but he shits on fence sitters too. What do you mean he shits on fence sitters? Wait, but he shits on fence sitters too. I don't know what you're saying right there. You got to clarify that one. Are you talking about Tim's? Because Tim is a fence sitter, but we need him, and I'm happy that he's on the Trump train. I'm very happy. let's see. Fence sitters are the worst. They are. But regardless, at least they're on the side of the fence that we need them on right now. And so, yes, Joe Rogan's a fence sitter, 1,000%. Jake says all Jeremy cares about is money. I want to clarify this right now because a lot of people accuse me of this. And I cannot just allow narratives on the internet to go unchecked. So whenever I get accused of this, I just want to clarify that it's absolutely 100% accurate. All I care about is money and subscribers and views. Yes. Just want to confirm that really quick. Just so there's no confusion out there. There you go, Jake. Jake. And I just want you to enjoy this moment, okay? Your 2-inch penis is now more erect than it's ever been because I acknowledged your existence. You've been trying to get my attention for a long time. All right? And now your mosquito penis is now more erect than it has ever been. Enjoy the moment, okay? You're going to be trying to get this moment back every stream, but I'm not going to acknowledge you unless you send me a super chat. There we go. All right. So, hi. All right. Look who's here. Look who just joined us, ladies and gentlemen. Guess who's here? It is the one, the only Christa Cast 199. What's up, Christa?
Hello. Better late than never, huh?
How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. So I'm sure the chat will be happy to see you. So how are you? How was your day?
I had an amazing day.
Okay.
Yeah, I was at Universal.
Well, if you're at a theme park, you're happy. So that's usually how it goes. So, all right. Well, thanks, Christa, for being here. Yes. I'll let you go backstage for now. But if you need to pop in, just let me know. Okay.
Sure thing.
All right. Bye. All right. So back to Cat Turd's tweets. 100% though. I do agree what he's saying. I just don't understand what the point is in calling it out because ultimately we need Tim Pool. We need Joe Rogan. I can be angry at them. I can call them out. But we do need them. And that's just that's really the bottom line on it. So I'll just leave it at that. Let me catch up on a few of these super chats. And then there is something else I want to talk about really quick. That's funny. Let's see. We've got Magoose for $9.99 says, Jeremy, play the clip from this episode where Greg goes off on Jessica over Kamala economic policies. Well, that's just like, I don't know where that clip is. I just had a couple of, they had a couple of clips on Fox News. So I'll have to see if I can find that clip, but I don't know exactly where that particular clip is because I don't have the full episode. Thank you for those 5 get the memberships. Thank you. Magnum Norris says, Cat Turd is a fence sitter. And fuck that. So you're saying he is? I would need an example. And if he is, that's fine. I don't know Cat Turd. He doesn't follow me. I follow him because he's a Trump supporter. But ultimately, like, he supports Trump unconditionally. And that's the main thing I care about. Now, I want to go back to a topic that I brought up earlier because I said how Donald Trump has broken so many people. Okay. And there's really no better example of that than someone that used to have the respect of everyone back in the day. This is the greatest example of what Donald Trump has done to so many people. And I truly will never fully understand how this one man has this much power over so many broken people. Okay? This is crazy what I'm going to show you. This is a young man named Eminem, or as we call it, Feminem now. Now, if you know, Eminem years ago had a diss track that he released on Donald Trump. That's right. Okay. It was a diss track. He released a diss track on Donald Trump. He went off on Donald Trump. He called him all these names, and Donald Trump never responded. And Eminem got completely triggered that Donald Trump never responded to him. Now, for those that don't know or may not know this, Eminem ruled the world when I was growing up. Like, Eminem ruled the world. He was the man, okay? And he was upsetting all of the left-wing lunatics. He was upsetting the LGBT community, PETA, the mainstream media. He was upsetting everybody. He was the man back in the day. This is what he has become because of Donald J. Trump. Just listen to the pathetic beta-ness from this guy. Listen to this.
When I start talking about Trump, I get too flustered in my head, and the shit that I want to say, there's too many things I want to say at once. So sometimes I start talking and I'm not able to convey the message the right way because I just get flustered and frustrated watching him play to his base that thinks that he cares about them, and it's actually the people that he cares about the fucking least. If you're talking about his core being, you know, a majority white middle class, what I don't understand is how in the fuck do you feel like you relate to a billionaire who has never known struggle his entire fucking life? I will say this, he talks a good one. And if you're in his base, you're a core, let's say you're going to the rallies or whatever, you watch him on TV, you hear him talking this shit. There's part of me that understands, like, all right, he's somehow still got them because he's brainwashing them into thinking that something great is going to happen. Nothing's happening. Nothing is happening. I don't know, man. I get really flustered when I talk.
He just can't, like, he said he gets flustered. He can't even talk about Trump without getting emotionally wrecked. Somebody said it in the chat too. Where is it at right now? Somebody said Trump did to Eminem what Eminem did to, right here. Trump did to Eminem what Eminem did to Machine Gun Kelly. That is the most accurate description right there. Like, that is the most accurate description right there. He's broken. One more, like, just listen to the beginning of this.
When I start talking about Trump, I get too flustered in my head.
Like, I don't know why Eminem is this triggered. I mean, listen, I will say this, okay? I will say this about Eminem, and I do understand, okay? Because I would be intimidated by a specimen like this as well.
I just feel like a young man. I'm so young. I can't believe it. I'm the youngest person. I am a young, vibrant man. I look at Joe. I don't know about him. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's a pathetic clip there from Eminem, man. A young, vibrant man. Eminem, he has once was respected by many, and now is respected by none. That is the story of Eminem. It's crazy. Like Eminem and Howard Stern back in the day. Like these two guys were like the edgelords, and they are absolutely pathetic right now. It's broken so many people, man. Joshua Miller says, much love to my favorite figgot. Grift on you, crazy fig. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate it. Alan Tanassi says, by the way, I walked by a libtard rally in LA the other day. They asked me who I'm for. I said, Joe. They said, he's not running anymore. I said, no, I'm in Joe Mama, Trump 2024. Thank you, Alan Tanassi. Magnum Norse for 20 says, dude, Eminem is such a bag of sticks. And Magnum Norris sent a member message. YouTube wouldn't allow me to insult Eminem. I totally know what you mean, brother. Zach with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, Zach. Appreciate that. You guys are awesome. Let's see where we left off up here. Old Renaissance Boomer says 10 days after the FBI evidently cremated crooks. I heard those stories. I need to look into that. But yes, apparently that's what they've done. Dirty Jersey says, my fear, if Trump wins in November, his plane will malfunction shortly thereafter. He'll never see the White House. Bet. Hope I'm wrong. Well, I hope you're wrong too. 8 o'clock says maybe the Dems will hit these protesters with paintballs, but they're not freedom-loving Americans. I doubt it. Blade Nico Terra says Dan Vask is prettier than Rachel Zegler. Damn, that's fucked up. Eric says, Eric Helpfulfinger says, every chance you get to say the Biden-Harris administration makes it harder to separate them. That's a good point. That's a good point. Mike says, what do you predict at best worst case scenario if Kamala wins? I mean, I don't think there's a best case scenario. I truly think that the United States will completely fall if Kamala Harris wins. I absolutely believe that. And I don't mean just like immediately that it's going to fall. I'm not saying that like she wins and then the United States just falls. I'm saying that there's no going back from that at that point in time. Like if she wins, you can't, there's nobody else. There's nobody else. So I've talked about this many times about Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a once in a lifetime personality. Whatever you think of him, whether you love him or hate him, it really doesn't matter. He has the ability to command any situation that he's involved in. And he's always been like that. He's before he was president, Donald Trump was always the most important person that walked into a room. That's just who he always was. And so with the level of celebrity that he has had, with the amount of money that he has had, with the amount of connections that he's had in the life that he has lived to get to the point that he's at, and then to be able to withstand all of the attacks they have put on him, because make no mistake, the reason that they have gone after Trump this hard is, yes, it's Trump, but it's also to set a standard for any other billionaire or successful person, to make sure they know, don't challenge the system or we will destroy you. That's what that's meant to do. Don't challenge the system or we will destroy you. That's why they've gone so hard after Trump, to make an example of Trump. It's a simple philosophy. It's a philosophy of when you go to prison, you first day you pick the biggest guy there and fight him so that everybody knows you're not scared of shit. It's the Tom Brady mentality of when Bill Belichick had to cuss Tom Brady out in front of the team, because if Tom Brady can't get away with it, no one can get away with it. They're trying to set a standard with Trump. And fortunately for us, and unfortunately for them, Trump has withstood everything they have thrown at him. But if he doesn't win, there's nobody that can do that. There's nobody that can duplicate what he's been able to do. There's nobody. And nobody's going to, sadly enough. And that's the reality of it. Shadow Sand says Jeremy loves fence sitting. It reminds him of his seatless unicycle. Matt Grizzly says salty mention on his stream tonight. Rumble may be over. Well, damn, that's crazy. I gotta find. I'll text him. April Harmony says nothing the DNC does will be able to match the RNC in July. It was amazing and most unified I've seen my Republican Party. Trump 2024. Let's freaking go. Nandy says that was the creepiest laugh Kamala gave at the end. Talk about Dahmer level creepy. Ace says Tim Walz is a POS. They try to humanize him by showing his cool interest in music, food, and movies. He wouldn't think twice about locking you up. Agreed. Abigor says this September 18th, live from Rikers Island, New York City, Survivor Series, Donald Trump versus Kamala Harris, Hell in a Cell, only on pay-per-view. Force Geek says Kamala says she's a hip-hop girl, but there's a video where she can't name a rapper. Sorry for the tech questions, but what kind of mic do you use? This is an XLR mic. It's an RE20, I think. There's really only two really good mics that I would recommend. It's either this one or the Shure mic, Shure SM7B. But you're going to need to get, like, I have a Rodecaster that I run through my XLR mic. So you need to get an XLR mic. That's the best microphones you can get. USB mic, if you don't have the money for an XLR mic, just go with the USB mic. But if you have the money, then go with an XLR mic for sure. Let's see. Not an RE20. Oh shit, that's right. This is the This is the Shure SN7B. I had the RE20 for a long time. I forget. have different setups. So I had the RE20 for a long time. This is the Shure SM7B. My bad. But both of them, Ryan uses the RE20. Gary uses it, and I had one, but I don't know why I went back to this one, but there you go. Jeremy doesn't even know what mic he has. No, I don't. But I would one of these XLR mic. That's the way to go for sure. John says Kamala is benefiting from the Kasich effect. I got something in my eye. The Kasich effect. The less you know, the better someone does in the polls. Credit to Sticks. Fox News is deep state. Harambe Kojima says first Trump rally tomorrow and Tucker with Alex Jones next month. Hail the 199. That'll be good. I'll be checking that out. Jack O'Hooligan says Tim Walz sent out his goons to shoot people with paintball guns and sitting in their own porches. That alone disqualifies him from any office. Jake the Movie Geek says it's just so crazy that we're at a place where the presidential Republican nominee could probably be sent to prison. Crazy town we're in, man. Crazy world. Slain Hope says don't put the cart before the horse. We ain't won yet. I agree. Nandy says this should be clipped and used whenever Ben talks. Bio T Wolf says bigot army raid clapping yo cheeks. Dragon Wise says bigot army raid. Hail the 199 I dots. Beardo's Banana Eater says on extreme DeSantis daily affirmations. Zhao says is Biden really going to run against Kamala at the DNC? 199 Trump 2024. CobraCast for the win. No, he's not, but it would be awesome. Slain Hope says, I took your words to heart, bro. I'm playing like we're down and struggling. I treat every vote like a bullet in my mag, and we're surrounded with no evac. Hey, it's the way to do it. It's the only way to do it. Dr. Gene Banana says, listen to Slim Anus by Insane Clown Posse. If you haven't, I have heard it. Most accurate representation of Feminem now. 1000% agree. Darksiders 8 says have 2 monies for Christa. There you go, Christa. Slain Hope says Trump is more street than Feminem. Nandy says a secure border, low groceries, gas costs, no wars. Yeah, he doesn't understand people issues. That's some Super Saiyan level TDS. Eminem's pathetic. Ozymandias says no creepy cucks 2024 199. John Kinney says Eminem sold his soul to be famous and now has to pay the price. He isn't broken. He's a female dog YouTube censor. Slain Hope with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, Slain Hope. Magnum North says Dan Bask eats the pee more pee than Rachel too. God dang. Dan catching strays. M. Sanders says, just want to give a shout out to the Boss Snake Pit members that are out there buying memberships for the rest of us. You guys are pillars. You rock. Yeah, man. Hey, everybody that gets memberships, thank you guys. It's really crazy how much support we have. And I really do appreciate it. So thank you guys so much for being awesome. And you guys enjoy. Christa, we're supposed to put some new, if you're here, let me know and I can pop you in for a minute. Okay. So we got to get some new emojis. So me and you will talk about this weekend. So, if you want to take some notes from the chat, Eric, for some suggestions, and we'll see. We do need to get that IDOT emoji for sure. Okay. We got to get that one. So we'll see. But all right. So just take out some notes and remind me this weekend. Plus, me and Christa are going to be playing Fortnite this weekend. The new season.
Yeah, I'm excited.
All right. So that's going to be awesome. So we'll see how that goes. And tomorrow. So I think tomorrow at some point we're going to play, and you're going to be streaming. Are you streaming YouTube as well as Kick?
Yeah.
All right. So her Kick channel, Christa Nova, and then she'll be streaming on the Geeks and Gamers Play channel from her perspective as well. So, all right. Good stuff. All right. Thanks, Christa. All right. Mohammed says, hail Jeremy. If Jay made One Piece content, he'd reach 100K in subs and maybe 500K subs. I recommend One Piece to you and Ryan. Oda does it right by the fans. 199. Well, the live action was awesome, and I did watch a little bit of the anime, and I did enjoy it. Toilet Bug says, hail Commander. Thank you for the Friday fun, sir. Hail Vegas and Eric K. You and Gary Garrett are my fun drunk Ryan. The racist Beardo don't have monkeypox. He is monkeypox. God, got a lot in there right there. April Harmony says, I've been a supporter of Trump since his apprentice days. I was around for the formation of MAGA. He is the man we need right now. He is incredible, which is why they want him gone, locked up. You are 1,000% accurate. Let's see. Eric K says, Gary recommends a Lewitt LCT 240 Pro mic. I wouldn't listen to Gary on anything when it comes to tech. Just be honest. Flag Ninja with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you. Right. The guy says Kamala has was asked her favorite living rapper was, and she said Tupac. I remember that. Ira Brownridge says Luna's daughter is here tonight. Yay. And why is my Rumble extension not working? Rumble needs to step it up with the super chats. Aided Clock 450 says hail One Piece. Christa, you like One Piece, don't you?
Yeah, I'm not a mega fan, but I enjoy it.
So Krista's a big anime fan. So what anime are you into, Christa?
My all-time favorite, you can see one of the characters in the back, is Dragon Ball Z. That's just a personal favorite. Then I have others that I like. A lot of modern ones, Demon Slayer, Attack on Titan. I like some older ones too, like Sailor Moon, like Dragon Ball Z. Yeah.
Anime expert Christa right there.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah. She knows her stuff. So, all right. Sorry to put you on the spot, Christa.
That's okay.
All right. Bye. All right. BFSD says Eminem called himself a bitch recently. Did you know that? He thinks his music sucks. Pretty much admitted everything you said about him. I am not aware of that. So I'd have to look that up and see. I don't pay attention to anything. Like I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, his new album is good" or something, and I'm like, I just can't deal with Eminem. I just can't deal with him. So Caleb says, "Hey Jeremy, keep up the good work, brother. Hail the 199 Trump 2024. Thank you so much. Look who's here. I haven't seen him in a few days. Stone Cold Underwood in the house. Boom. He's back. The forklift driving working man himself. So if you guys don't know, so John, at least according to what John says, he's a forklift driver. And I call him Stone Cold John Underwood because Stone Cold Steve Austin, who's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, and Stone Cold has even said this, if he wasn't a famous wrestler, he'd be a forklift driver, which is what I said I would be because I was a forklift driver back in the day. So if I wasn't a YouTuber, I'd be a forklift driver. I like forklift driving. It's fun. You have to take it seriously, but yes, Krista says beep in the chat. But yeah, good stuff. What's up, John? Good to see you here, brother. Shadow Sand says, Krista, will you be playing Sparking Zero in October? Krista, you can answer in the chat if you want. I'm gonna keep going unless you want to pop yourself in. It's up to you. But she's not there right now, so I'll let her. Let's see. You good? Okay, pop in.
I don't really play any of the Dragon Ball Z games, but maybe I'll look into it.
Yeah, you had me watch. What was that Dragon Ball Z movie you had me watch a while back?
Broly. You've seen
the newer one. It was like Superhero or Super.
Oh yeah. The one with
people,
Gohan. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and a lot of people didn't like that one, like a lot of Dragon Ball fans. But I, as a normie on it, I thought it was enjoyable.
I gave it a 7 out of 10. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Dragon Ball Super just because there's a lot of great things that came out of Super, but the storyline not so much. But yeah, I just prefer Dragon Ball Z old school. Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you, Krista.
Thank you.
All right. As far as forklift driving goes, yeah. So when I worked for Home Depot is when I learned how to drive forklifts. And at Home Depot we had, we had the order picker, we had a reach truck, and then we had 3 different style of forklifts. I really enjoyed driving a reach truck. Reach truck's fun as hell to drive, and that was more like for the tighter aisles that you had to go down, that you had to pick up stuff. The order picker was the thing that lifted you all the way up so that you could you'd have to strap yourself on to the to the top, and if you had to take something down, and then obviously just regular forklifts. So, but then Home Depot, and then I got a warehouse job, a warehouse manager job, and that's where I got my OSHA certification there. Jeremy's eyebrow says, my mom keeps calling me a misogynist, even though I've never gotten a single massage in my life. Please help. All right, let me see. Rumble's pissing me off, this extension. I don't know why this extension doesn't work. Christa, you probably haven't gotten all the Rumble rants because you got here a little late. So the extension's not working for some reason. I did get I got Jam the Elite Fan. Vault95 says, read this, you piece of meat. Gary's Trump impersonation is better than Beardo's. Literally everyone. All right. Laughing Man says, I drive a reach truck at the warehouse, Jeremy. Nice. I have respect for you if you drive a reach truck. Again, this is our little, nobody's watching this stream, okay? But when Beardo does his Trump impersonation, just tell him it's good. We know it's not. It's fucking horrible, okay? It's really bad, but just tell him it's good and go with it. It's really bad. I don't do the Trump impersonation because I know I can't do it, but Beardo seems to think he can do it. Sean 487 for 10 says, wanted to talk about the gaslighting of the Harris polls. Rasmussen has Trump up 4 points. Now they try to say the outlier by ignoring the other pollsters who have Trump winning. Yeah, the polls right now have thrown people into a frenzy. I am really just not paying attention to them much, but they are starting to turn a little bit, but it's all meant to throw people in a frenzy. At the end of the day, Donald Trump has the most solid base in political history. His base doesn't move around that much. Like, you're going to vote for Trump, you're going to vote for Trump. It's not like you're suddenly going to not vote for Trump. So it's like those polls shifting as much as they did for Harris made absolutely no sense whatsoever. Hayden Wayne for 50 says, as a forklift driver back in the day, I had the honor of being one driver chosen for the tandem forklift operation of bringing in 250,000 lights that were designed for MJ's tour before he died. I was an entertainment industry fork op for a while. Bro, that is crazy. That is awesome as hell. Dude, freaking MJ, greatest entertainer of all time, in my humble opinion. And I don't think it's close. The fact that, and I don't even talk about it that much. You know what? For people that are like, Jeremy's all about brag, I should brag more that I'm friends with members of the Jackson family. Yes, I'm friends with Taj Jackson. I have his phone number. I've had him on Geeks and Gamers before. I should brag about that more often. But that's to me, Michael Jackson is the greatest entertainer that's ever lived. I don't think anyone will ever be able to duplicate what Michael Jackson did. I was always a huge fan of Michael. And the story of like Taj Jackson and how I got to know him was Taj Jackson was a fan of Geeks and Gamers because of The Last Jedi, because he hated The Last Jedi. And so Taj was watching Geeks and Gamers, and I'd never talked about Michael Jackson. But someone asked me about Michael Jackson in a super chat, and I answered it. And I was like, Michael's innocent. Michael did nothing wrong. They hated Michael. They threw him under the bus. Michael Jackson's biggest crime was that he wanted to actually help humanity. That was his biggest crime. That he actually wanted to help humanity. He actually wanted to do good things, and he was doing really good things all around the world. And that is 100% why they needed to destroy him. And so yeah, I answered it that way, and he was watching. Taj Jackson was watching, and then he messaged me, and he was like, man, I was worried. I didn't know what direction you were going to go because I'm a fan. I was a fan, but I was like, oh, because Taj is a big advocate for Michael's innocence. And listen, a lot of people bought into the media bullshit narrative about that. They absolutely did. And, you know, I reference Razor Fist's videos, which are not the reason I believe Michael Jackson's innocent. I believe Michael Jackson was innocent long before I knew who Razor Fist was. But Razor Fist's breakdown of it actually is a pretty slam dunk case against all the bullshit against Michael Jackson. If you want to go get educated on that, you should watch Razor Fist's breakdowns on it because they are amazing. But yeah, Michael Jackson was 100% done wrong by the same corrupt media and powers that be that are destroying Donald Trump right now. It's 100% the same thing, and nobody's ever going to tell me different. So I firmly believe that, and will not be convinced otherwise because I watched it happen. I watched it all play out. But thank you, Hayden. Appreciate you, brother. Forsky says, let's see. Black conservative perspective says Trump working with Tulsi. Yeah, there's been a lot of reports that he's working with Tulsi. I personally would have rather that news just not been released if that's the case. But it is what it is. F and Dave says not to brag or anything, but not only am I a fork truck certified, but I also reach truck, Skytrack, and arc weld the overhead bridge crane certified. Bro, like you're walking in here like Vince McMahon now. You're walking in here with grapefruits. I can't hang with you on that one. Like you sir have the grapefruits. Okay, I can't. So there was actually, before YouTube took off, there was a position that opened up in Orange Beach, which is not far from here. Orange Beach is in Alabama, but it's like Alabama is not very far from Pensacola. Like it's probably like 45 minutes from me. And it was for a I don't know what the actual technical term for it was, but so it was a forklift operator for boats. So you put them, up in the warehouses when it's the off season. It's I don't know what the technical term for the actual truck, the reach truck or the forklift is, but it's a massive machine. And I applied for it, and I was like in the top 3, but I didn't get it. A lot of people applied for it because it was the pay was stupid, the amount of pay, but a lot of training went through it. I don't know what it's called. Some people are saying it. Let's see if anybody can. I can't remember what it was called, but yeah, man, absolutely. Let's see here. I did that job for a summer. It was great. No, it's not Cherry Picker. I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, F and Dave though. F and Dave knows what's up. Dead Fly says, the Sidewinder was one of my favorite at Home Depot. Did you work at Home Depot too? Nice. NDI. I worked at Lowe's, the same vehicles. The Reach was the best. I was one of the best because I played video games. LOL, so fun. Dude, the Reach truck's awesome. I love Reach truck. B. Barrett says the only people who wear Crocs have all got monkeypox. He may be a simp for MAGA, but at least he doesn't simp for Twilight Saga. Let's see here. I'm scrolling Rumble now. Rumble needs a better system. B. Barrett says, I'm over Sydney. I simp for Luna now. I respect that. Let's see. Vault 95 says, Feminem, just another rich bitch with a deleted legacy. JM the Elite fan for 25 on Rumble. Speaking of anime, obligatory message telling everyone to watch Berserk. I'm over halfway through the 97 anime, and it's amazing. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people. I've actually been sent that book. Rumball 1000 says the screens on the side are causing seizures. Please change the rainbows and unicorns, which is much more your style. Thank you. 8 o'clock for 50 says, forgot to mention screw Hassan and his commie opinion on One Piece. If you watch One Piece and think Luffy would support a terrorist group, you're watching it wrong. See, I have literally never watched a Hassan stream, so I don't really know what Hassan's opinions are. I see things get clipped occasionally, you know what I mean? But yeah, I know nothing about Hassan's opinions at all. Dead Fly for 20 says, so we're bragging. Before all my health issues, I worked as a heavy machine mechanic and went to Edwards Air Force Base for 3 years, then worked at China Lake Naval Base for 5 years. Some of the shit I worked on was amazing. Well, sorry to hear about your health issues, brother. And yeah, that's awesome. The working man keeps the country moving. The working man. That's why it pisses me off when I hear streamers say that they have a hard job. You don't have a hard job. You've never had a job in your life if you think that. And there's a lot of young kids that like have gotten famous at like 19 or 20 or 21, and this is all they know. And it's sad to think that this is a real job. Getting on the internet and reading and talking about news articles and reacting to other videos is not a real job. It's just not. It's never going to be a real job. It's a privileged thing to do. Is if you love it and if you're being authentic. I guess if you're being a fake and a phony and you're putting on a show, then I guess maybe it would qualify as a job from that perspective. But if you're just being yourself and you're being authentic, which is what you need to be on the internet, this is not a job. There's nothing difficult about this. Nothing. Andrew CR says, Beardo is that little kid your mom made you play video games with, and you gave him the disconnected controller. BFSD says, today's Eminem had an interview with Old School Slim Shady where Eminem basically roasts himself. It's on YouTube. Really? Okay. I'll have to look that one up. NDI says, I worked in flooring department, and one time someone returned 5 pallets of tile from a different store. Sucked balls. MAGA 2024. Love ya, Fig. Man. Yeah. That's rough right there. Mike says, just saw an X, Swifties for Trump. I saw like some chick with like a Swifties for Trump thing. It's really stupid. I have no idea what that was about. And the other thing too is, oh God, yeah. Okay, I see what you guys are saying now. Hang on. Here we go. The quartering. Swifties for Trump right there. So there's Swifties for Trump. Jesus. Oh my God. BFSD says Baldur's Gate 3 is amazing. So much fun. I thought about trying to get into Baldur's Gate, but I just I did not. I want to talk about this story really quick. This is a kind of a sports related story, but it kind of transcends sports in a lot of ways. Dan Orlovsky, who is a former NFL quarterback, and he is now an ESPN analyst. He tweeted, "Protect our daughters." Now, Dan is generally a decent guy. Okay. Dan is generally a decent guy. He tweets out, "Protect our daughters." He then deletes the tweet saying, "Protect our daughters," because it, quote, did not represent the views of his employer, ESPN. I want to repeat that one more time. He had to delete a tweet that said, "Protect our daughters," because ESPN claimed that that did not represent the views of their company. Are you fucking kidding me right now? This is insane. So ESPN will let all of these left-wing lunatics spew out nonsense all day long. But he tweets this, and he has to delete it because ESPN says this does not represent our company. Oh my God, man. So frustrating. So frustrating. Let's see. Hudson Chicks for 20 says, help me out here and let me know I'm not crazy. You're from Alabama, and I'm from up north, and I moved here to Florida 4 years ago. Does the water burn your eyes and make your nose sneeze in the shower? Well, the thing is I'm from Alabama, and I moved to Florida when I was 15 years old. And I've been in Florida, I've moved a few times here or there, but like I've been in Florida for the majority of that 15 years. So being as a 15-year-old, I don't really remember. And the thing is it depends on where at in Florida you are, because I'm in the Panhandle. I'm literally 45 minutes from the state of Alabama. So this is lower Alabama where I live. This is the Redneck Riviera, where I live in the Redneck Riviera. That's what we call it here. The Panhandle of Florida is the Redneck Riviera. It's very red here in terms of, it's Trump country, it's MAGA country, all of that. So Florida is different. There are 3 stages to Florida. There's the Panhandle, there's Central Florida, and then there's Southern Florida. all three are very different places. Might as well be three different states. So, I don't know if I can answer that one from my perspective. But thank you for the 20. I appreciate that. Yeah, it depends on where in Florida you're at. But I'm in the redneck Riviera. But yeah, back to this. ESPN is trash. I couldn't believe this when I saw this. I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like, are we really at this point where we are making people delete tweets because they say protect our daughters? It's absolutely insane to me. And I'm never going to fully understand it. I'm never going to fully understand how they're able to get away with this stuff. Sad but true. But I think he's kind of I pretty much think he's a coward for deleting it. I think it's a very cowardly thing. You should, like, it's the saying, like, you're either stand for something or you're going to fall for anything. And he's now at the point in life where he's going to fall for anything. Like, at some point in time, and I understand, you got a job, you've got a family, you've got a livelihood, you want to keep that. This guy clearly has made a lot of money in his career, being a former NFL football player and now a sports analyst for years. I mean, at some point in time, man, you can't sit there and deal with this shit. Like, this is ridiculous. All right. Insane. But that's where we are, unfortunately. So I wanted to talk about that really quick. Jeremy's eyebrow says, oh shit, that was earlier. I think I'm caught up. Looks like we're caught up on super chats. Let's go. TJ says, for the 12 months of gifted memberships, thank you. Look at that. 12 months of gifted memberships TJ has gotten from this lovely, lovely, crazy group of people that we call the Snake Pit and the 199 and the IDOTs and all that other stuff. IDOTs, 199, Snake Pit. You guys know, we got all these names. Emperor Palav says, my boy Owen Schroyer is video gaming on Rumble, LOL. That's pretty funny. Shout out to Owen Schroyer. So you guys said that Alex Jones and Tucker are doing something next month or something like that. Let me look that up. I haven't heard anything about that. So let's see if I can find. Was that like an announcement somewhere? What is this? I haven't seen this clip. Johnny Maga just posted this. We're going to react to this in real time. I have no idea what I'm about to watch. Let's see this real quick.
Do you think that Kamala Harris is the best person to run against Donald Trump right now?
Well, she is the person, and that won't change probably, huh? She'll be the Democratic candidate. She's very smart. You got to give credit to somebody, a black woman, to move up the ladder. That ain't easy stuff. There's a lot of respect.
God, Bernie's such a fucking cuck, dude. Bernie Sanders is such a pathetic cuck, okay? I mean, he is so pathetic.
Persistence to that. And she's persistent, she's strong. I think she'll be a good candidate. I was interested that Trump apparently backed out of a debate with her on ABC.
Oh, fuck off, Bernie. You are a lying piece of shit. You are such a lying, pathetic piece of shit.
She's tough.
She's tough.
You know, I ran in 16. I ran against Hillary Clinton, and I ran in 20.
Yeah, I felt like you didn't get treated fairly, to be honest with you.
And that's what happens when you take on the establishment. So what happened is we won
yeah, Theo Font's funny.
First three primaries, and then the establishment got very, very nervous, and there were a whole lot of candidates in the Democratic primary. And they said, hey, it'd be a good idea if you all dropped out, that Joe Biden be the one candidate. People rallied around him. That's what happened.
Whoa, what? Did Bernie just admit? This? Maybe he's already said this before, but that's a pretty big piece of news right there.
Candidates in the Democratic primary. And they said, hey, it'd be a good idea if you all dropped out, that Joe Biden be the one candidate. People rallied around him. That's what happened. Let me also say, having said that, Biden is a friend of mine.
He knew it. Oh, man. This clown. I can't believe he said that.
Primaries, and then the establishment got very, very nervous, and there were a whole lot of candidates in the Democratic primary. And they said, hey, it'd be a good idea if you all dropped out, that Joe Biden be the one candidate. People rallied around him. That's what happened. Let me also say, having said that, Biden is a friend of mine. I think he has done a very good job over the last 3.5 years. And I'm working very hard to see that Kamala is elected our next president.
Holy crap. Wow. Unbelievable. Bernie Sanders is a pathetic individual, like an absolutely pathetic individual. I can't believe how pathetic he is. I can't believe how cucked he is. It really is amazing. Yeah, I didn't know where that clip was going, but I haven't heard him say that in particular, that the reason that they got him out was because he has upset the establishment. So they basically said, hey, everybody, you need to drop out and rally around Joe Biden. That's pretty freaking interesting right there. So, all right, let's see if there's anything else that I wanted. Let me go to my bookmarks really quick, see if we covered all the topics for the evening. There might have been one more, if I can find it. So, okay, yeah, Anna Paulina Luna was on with Benny Johnson, so I wanted to show that clip really quick. So Anna Paulina Luna was on with Benny Johnson. Here we go.
I'll let you have the last word here. So here's the setup. Your message to the haters, to the accounts that are so triggered by an attractive, powerful woman in a conservative woman in a swimsuit that loves her country, serves her country, and is a mother and a wife.
Yeah,
What's your message? What's your message to them?
I've done more for women in office and I think younger up and coming women across the country, and just being able to promote some of the legislation and even simply just having a seat at the table than some of these people have done and will do in their entire lifetime. So if you are busy trying to replace women, if you're busy trying to redefine women or even mothers, and you don't like this, my message to you is get over
Boom!
it.
That's exactly how you should respond. Right there. My message is, if you don't like it, get over it. Perfectly said right there. Perfectly said. So good on her. Glad that she's responding the way you should respond to these clowns. And we did get this one. So, okay, I got to show you guys this one because this will be kind of funny. Let me find it. So we've got this. Hang on. So I showed you guys this one. Where is it at? Right here. Okay. So the reaction to the internet. Okay. We've got both reactions. So I'll show you the reaction. So earlier we showed you Sydney Sweeney broke the internet. Okay. Sydney Sweeney broke the internet. Calm down, chat, just for a minute. But Sydney Sweeney did break the internet. She has great assets. I think everybody can agree with that one. And someone quote tweeted this as a response. This has got to be the best quote tweet I have ever seen. Is this the one? This quote tweet right here. This is the quote tweet that somebody put. All right, here we go.
Should I do it?
Do not come.
I'm gonna do it.
Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
Oh no. One more time.
Should I do it?
Do not come.
I'm gonna do it.
Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
You know what? We're going to play this every time we get a proper 199. Okay. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm downloading this video, and every time we get a proper 199. All right. I'm downloading it right now. Let's see here. Download Twitter video. It's such a good video. It's such a good video. Here we go. Download. Okay. Okay, and then let's see how quickly we can get this thing uploaded. Okay, it is officially uploaded now. It's officially uploaded. So there we go. So now, whenever we get a proper 199, I will, or more, we will drop that right there. All right, here we go. All right. There we go. Okay. So that's going to close out tonight's episode, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you being here. We got TJ. I got that one. Emperor got that one. Flag Ninja says Kamala didn't climb up the ladder. She slid down the polls. Well, I agree with that. Let's see. UPD says Vance Trump forced to Vance Trump forced to made emergency landing just now. Just now? So you're saying, hang on. So JD Vance. Okay, that was, so this is 8 hours ago. The link I'm seeing right now is 8 hours ago. Just in, JD's Vance, Trump forced to, a Boeing 737 made an emergency landing in Milwaukee after the pilot discovered a door seal malfunction. This comes just 1 week after President Trump's plane made an emergency landing in Billings due to a hydraulic leak. Say a prayer for these guys' safety. Holy shit. What is going on, man? This is crazy. This is not a coincidence. These things are not a coincidence at all. That is scary as hell. I mean, we're talking about Trump Force 1 and Trump Force 2. These are would be two of the safest planes in the entire world. And within weeks of each other, having malfunctions and having emergency landings. And this is coming out like a month after an assassination attempt on President Trump. That's scary, bro. This is not a game anymore. And this is why the fence riders are pissing so many people off, because it's not a game. This is not a game. We are not dealing with the game. This is real life. And there's real circumstances involved. Real lives are at risk right now. That is crazy. Yeah, why haven't we heard of any mechanical problems on a Democrat's plane? Why have we heard that? Not that we should, not asking for that. I'm saying, why do we never hear about that? But we're hearing about it on Trump's and JD Vance's plane within weeks of each other, which is a month after the assassination attempt on President Trump. And what did Alex Jones say? You know what? I'm looking it up right now. Give me a minute. Alex Jones. Let's see here. If I can find it. Let's see here. Find a video. That was July 23rd. How long is this video? You know what? We're going to play this video. I don't know how long this video is, or I don't know if this is it or not. Come on, Twitter video.
Globalists think you're weak. They think you're stupid.
Come on, Twitter. What are we doing?
They think they can kill Trump. They just tried it in front of the world, and now they're bitching at Trump for complaining. How dare you complain, CNN says. They're not trying to get Trump. They got to get through Trump to get to you. And if they kill Trump, they think they killed America. So we got to protect Trump. About to break it down right now, and CNN and the disgusting activity they're engaged in.
Well, there was one where he had predicted it before it happened. Twitter video is kind of sucking right now. 21st, 23rd. Is this it right here? Give me a minute. I'm looking for it. It was like it was a thing with Jack Posobiec put out there. That was on the man. Twitter video is garbage right now for some reason. Why is Twitter video so crap? Look at this.
Need to have town hall meetings now. And Trump should not be pig-headed and see RFK as a threat. Because I'm telling you, the Democrats aren't going to let him get the nomination. But RFK doing that will destroy Biden in the deep state and then guarantee himself a position in the Trump cabinet.
This is from 2023, by the way.
But knowing RFK, the Kennedys are very pig-headed, like Trump is. It's a good thing because you can't push them around. But he'll run to the point of them killing him. I don't like to make really nasty predictions. I think they're going to kill Trump and RFK Jr. probably before the election. I mean, they got plans drawn up to kill him. Folks, let me explain something. They may kill me, okay? I don't want to tell everybody this because I've been asked not to. But they had private intelligence agencies and the feds literally following me around 24/7 and doing all sorts of operations against us. And of course, I don't do anything but go home and go to sleep. So they're really frustrated. But they've got sex ops set up. They've got everything set up, ladies and gentlemen. And it's bad. Now, if they're doing that to me, can you imagine what they're doing to RFK Jr. and Trump? That's why Kushner and his wife and all them won't even really talk to Trump now and have run off. And all the wimps have run off from Trump. Because he's not giving up, but they're all giving up because they were all double agents the whole time.
Scary stuff, man. And Alex Jones always ahead of the curve. Maximus BT says, where my breeds at? Jeremy's eyebrow says the deep state is real and they want Trump dead. Somebody said, am I still downloading the video? No. So from now on, I already had that uploaded. So from now on, whenever we get a proper 199, this is what we play right here.
Should I do it?
Do not come.
I'm going to do it.
Do not come.
I'm going to come.
This is such a great video. Oh, man. Aaron James for 20 says, first, Trump didn't break any law, but they violated several of his rights. Federal law takes precedence over state law. No state constitution can violate the federal constitution. Trump won't go to jail. Part 2 of that for Aaron. Candidates have protections normal citizens don't have. Lastly, if law enforcement attempts to kidnap Trump to jail, the Secret Service will protect him, and Trump's emergency response teams are true badass professionals. So that's a good perspective right here from Aaron. So again, right here. First, Trump didn't break any laws, but they violated several of his rights. Federal law takes precedence over state law. No state constitution can violate the federal constitution. Trump won't go to jail. And then candidates have protections normal citizens don't have. Lastly, if law enforcement attempts to kidnap Trump to jail, the Secret Service will protect him, and Trump's emergency response team are true badass professionals. Also, not even the fact that he's a candidate, he's a former president of the United States. So it's not even that he's a candidate, he's a former president also. So that has to go into account. So again, these are all good points. They want him in jail. They certainly do want him in jail. Also, I don't fully trust the Secret Service. I do think there are some really awesome people in the Secret Service, but I don't fully trust them. And there are a lot of questions around Butler, Pennsylvania, what happened with that whole scenario. So there's a lot of unanswered questions there. And so, man, this is a complicated scenario. This whole thing is complicated from top to bottom. And as I've said many times, I don't even know how Trump trusts anybody. I don't know how the man makes a phone call. I don't know how he has an interaction without somebody trying to set him up. Dom H with 5 gifted memberships. Let's freaking go, Dom H. Ministry Wrong Thing says, I know you don't want to talk about Taylor Swift anymore, but Swifties for Trump is trending on X right now. Is that what the deal is? So Swifties for Trump is... How the hell is that trending? Is this like a MAGA, is this like a MAGA troll or something? Let's see here. I'm looking to see what's going on. Swifties for Trump. Let me go to, let's see. Let me go to Explore. Swifties for Trump. Here's trending. I'm looking at my trending tab right now. I don't see it right now on trending. Yeah. Yeah, there it is. Okay, it is it is trending. Look at this shit. So it's right there. It's number 6. It's the number 6 trend right now. Here, let's there we go. It's a number 6 trend right now. Swifties for Trump. You know what? Hang on. This is Twitter. I'm not going to just free scroll, okay? Got to be very careful with that. So is this like a MAGA troll? That's pretty funny. Yeah, you got to call it X. Okay, sorry, X. Has Trump tweeted today? In order for me to call it X consistently, we need Trump back. I don't need Trump like occasionally back. Trump has not tweeted. His last tweet was the Elon thing, which has 47 million views and nearly 1 million likes. It's absolutely crazy. So if Trump is back, I'll call it X to the best of my ability. But he's not back. Okay? He's not back. Darian Murphy says Swifties for Trump is because of the terrorist attempt at her concert. They want her protected. Is that it? Is that what's going on with it? Trump has X'd today? No, he hasn't. Trump's account retweeted a tweet from yesterday. Or actually retweeted a tweet from August 11th, but he hasn't tweeted since that Elon one. So we need you back on Twitter, Trump. That's what you need to do. All right. Okay, so that's kind of funny. Yeah, retweets don't count. Written word, you are correct. Written word knows what's up. Retweets don't count. You can't count that. Turns Jack Posobiec tweeted this out. Turns out Kamala Harris' honeymoon was just a one-night stand. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. It's kind of over. I mean, they had a bump. They're probably going to try to get a bump off of the DNC, but I don't think it's going to work. I don't think it's going to work at all. I think they're done. There's going to be a lot of celebrities this week, and if you're just tuning in from earlier, I said that I'm going to be live a lot next week because we have the Democratic National Convention that's going on. I'm not sure how that's going to affect what we're doing with Geeks and Gamers stuff, but the Geeks and Gamers stuff will continue. Even if I have to be here to cover the DNC, the Geeks and Gamers stuff will still continue. Even if we have to stream over each other, then that's exactly what we're going to do. So it'll be a busy week. It'll be a busy, fun week indeed, and I cannot wait. So I hope you guys will be hanging out with us as well. All right, so with that said, we're going to call it a night. Thank you guys. You guys have been awesome with all the gifted memberships and all the super chats. Incredible stuff. And I don't deserve you. I don't, but you guys continue to support, and I do appreciate that. Make sure you check out D-Day Cobra Clips. We'll have some stuff put over there, over on that channel. And this weekend, a lot of Fortnite. A lot of Fortnite is going to be happening on D-Day Cobra 199 and on Geeks and Gamers Play. So make sure you guys are subscribed to both of those channels if you want to see us playing some games and hanging out. We have been hitting record viewership over there for the streams the last few days. So crazy. It's crazy we're getting that many people watching. So, but don't forget, man, there's a lot of craziness going on. But at the end of the day, just keep getting the word out there about voting for Trump and saving America. I would not encourage anybody to fight and argue with leftists because these people are so far gone. But there are people in the middle that are willing to have a conversation and have a discussion. And you have to obviously make an educated guess on that, or an educated decision as like, is this person worth it? But if they're just so far gone and they're Trump hate and they're TDS, they're not worth a conversation, in my humble opinion. So with that said, you guys have a great evening. We are going to end on YouTube. All right. Archer Blaze says, if Trump and Elon were D and W, who would you be? If Trump and Elon were D and W, what do you mean D and W? Am I missing the reference there? What does that mean? Later, Jeremy and Christa says Can Man. Absolutely. Thank you. Let's see. Slain Hope. Oh, Deadpool and Wolverine? Is that what that means? Slain Hope says the MAGA Elon honeymoon is over. The ultimate partnership was nothing more than a fart in the wind. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? I don't agree with that at all. Let's see. Why do you say that, Slain Hope? The MAGA Elon honeymoon is over. You mean because he's not tweeting anymore? I disagree completely. I disagree completely on that one. Maximus BT says breach for Trump. You are not going to give this up, are you? You are not going to give this up. You're not going to give it up. Also, I don't know what's going on with this monkeypox thing. I don't really care. But they're trying to push this whole monkeypox thing. I don't know why anybody's buying into this crap, but it is what it is. Let's see. Make sure we're good over here on Rumble. Mod Eric says, I saw another video today on another angle. One of the Secret Service dumbasses pointed his AR right at the SUV front windshield when they got Trump in it. This was after the attempt. Written word says, D-Day Cobra, Elon clearly likes Trump now, and I'm glad that's how this all played out. Same, because I'm shocked that Elon and Trump are like this tight. Like they're basically BFFs at this point in time. Is crazy. With two guys with that massive ego and that much influence have put their differences aside. That is crazy. And I'm really happy about it. But all right, guys, thank you. So we're going to end here on YouTube. We're going to do the we'll do the ending screen, and then we'll end on YouTube, and then we'll pop back in over on Rumble and Kick and Twitter for a little bit of Sabaton. Thank you, guys. Have a great evening. Love you all. Have a great weekend. I'll see you on D-Day Cobra 199, and we'll talk to all of you later. Bye, everyone.